Welcome back to another episode of Will It Build, where today, before we get into the build, I want to discuss the Emblem giveaway for this episode because we're going to do something a little bit different than what we typically do, because today the Emblem giveaway is going to revolve around a prompt. All you have to do to enter and be eligible for the giveaway is like the video, be a subscriber on the channel, and comment down below a question that you would love to ask a Bungie developer, specifically about something build crafting related, abilities related, subclass related, sandbox related, all of the things that we typically do on the channel. Comment down below if you could ask one question and one question only, what would you ask? What's the most pressing thing that you would love to know? And as you peruse the comments, please be sure to also like the comments of other individuals who comment questions that you also really like. So I'll keep my eye on those comments. I'm gonna pick one that I really like, and we're gonna go ahead and get an emblem out to that individual. So looking at the build I have for you today, this is an extension of the previous episode that we just wrapped up with the void-centric, void-specific Hunter Choir of One build, where at the end of the episode, in my opinion, my conclusion was that the build was good. In fact, it was very good. It was a very strong build. It felt very good, excelled in specific areas, and was relatively average in other areas. But I couldn't help but feel that it might perform better on Prismatic, and I really wanted to explore that and flesh that out in another episode. So that's what I have here for y'all today, is a Prismatic edition of the build that we just took a look at. I'm going to show you what I came up with, and we're going to test it out, obviously take it into some difficult content. We're going to go the ultimatum difficulty, the hardest difficulty in the Spire of the Watcher dungeon for Rite of the Nine today, and we're going to put it to the test and see if we like the Prismatic version a little bit better than the Void version, what it does better, what it's not quite as good at, and all that good stuff. Getting started with our exotic armor piece, we are rocking and rolling with the Relativism Exotic Hunter Cloak. Don't worry if you don't have access to exotic class items, I have an alternative option for you. But if you have one with Spirit of the Gerfalcon, it's absolutely exceptional for this build, because even though we only get half of the actual Gerfalcon's Halberd perks, we get the half that we actually care about. So with Spirit of the Gerfalcon, our void weapons gain volatile rounds after we emerge from being invisible. The Gerfalcon's Halberd exotic itself does a whole lot more stuff than that. For the purposes of this build, we don't really care much about all of the other stuff. We're not really using it that often. We're not really using it at all, to be completely honest. So using an exotic class item that allows you to get all of the benefits from Gerfalcons that you actually care about, plus the benefits of an additional perk that you can have in column 1, is really solid. If you have a class item with Spirit of Inmost Light paired up with Gerfalcons, that is definitely going to be your best bet, but you can totally run anything in this first column slot if you would like. The main important thing here is obviously Spirit of the Gerfalcon with the setup that we're going with. Now, of course, if you don't have any exotic class items with Spirit of the Gerfalcon, even though you are on Prismatic, it is perfectly fine to just go ahead and run the base Gerfalcon's Halberd while you farm out a class item that does have Spirit of the Gerfalcon, or while you wait around for Zur to show up and you give him some strange coins, and you make sure you have Spirit of the Gerfalcon attuned from the Ghost Fender and the Pale Heart of the Traveler. You're totally fine to run base Gerfalcon's Halberd with this build while you go ahead and hunt for an exotic class item with the Spirit perk. As far as weaponry goes, we're kind of sticking with the same idea, although we have made a pretty significant change on the Choir of One exotic auto rifle, where at the end of the last episode, we kind of felt like destabilizing rounds as our selected crafted perk was a bit overkill, considering that we're always getting volatile rounds from exiting invisibility through Gerfalcon's Halberd or Spirit of the Gerfalcon. So I really wanted to test out this build with the Choir of One with the Onslaught refit, where final blows with the weapon will increase its fire rate and therefore increase its overall DPS because we're shooting so much more quickly. So we went ahead and threw on Onslaught. Gonna put that to the test, see if it feels significantly better than destabilizing rounds, and also more importantly that we're not missing destabilizing rounds and that we don't feel like we're in a situation where we can't effectively maintain our Gerfalcon's invisibility loop without destabilizing rounds on our weapon. As far as the top slot, whatever primary ammo weapon floats your boat, and then the heavy ammo slot, again, whatever heavy is applicable for the situation that you're in. If you're in an ad clear and exclusive encounter, maybe you go with something like a machine gun. If you're trying to do boss damage, maybe we'll go rocket. If you're trying to go mobility, eager edge sword. World is your oyster in that regard. As far as our subclass goes, you can go super of choice here. I really like sticking with the Shadow Shot Deadfall just because it allows me to continue to use harmonic armor mods for things like Siphon and Scavenger and Loader and things of that nature, so I can get the lower energy cost on those mods on my armor because they will match with Void, which is important because I want all of those mods to be applicable to the element that Choir of One is, which is of course Void. You can use another super if you would like, but Shadow Shot is generally speaking going to be the default one that I gravitate towards. For our abilities, I'm going to try out Gambler's Dodge here. We're going to move away from the Marksman's Dodge since we don't need it as much previously. I think the recommendation for Marksman's Dodge was primarily because we wanted a faster cooldown time to take advantage of Vanishing Step, but since we obviously don't have Vanishing Step on Prismatic, we're going to try out Gamblers here so that we can refund our melee whenever we want. Speaking of which, for our melee, I'm going Threaded Spike. I just really love Threaded Spike. I feel like it's the best melee in the entire game. Severing enemies at the click of a button drops their damage by 40%, or if you have Disruptor Spike, the artifact mod on, that goes up to 52%, so you're literally cutting every single enemy that you hit's damage by more than half, which is incredibly powerful, especially in higher end content like the Ultimatum Dungeon that we're about to do. Grapple Grenade, you can use whatever grenade you want, to be completely honest. I'm just in love with Grapple Grenade, both for its synergies with any powered melee based thing, such as gloves mods for ability regeneration, or something like the Faceted Blessing down here for melee final blows, since Grapple Grenade does count as a powered melee final blow and a powered grenade final blow when you kill something with the melee. And I just love the maneuverability of it as well. The traversal is just by far my favorite grenade in the game. I'm kind of addicted to it a little bit. If you're not a huge fan of Grapple Grenade, you can totally use something else. As far as our aspects go, obviously going with Stylish Executioner, this is the lifeblood of any Gerfalcon's loop, but this is one of the main reasons right here as to why I wanted to try a prismatic version of this setup. And you might be thinking, Mac, why would Stylish Executioner be one of the main reasons that you want to try a prismatic specific setup for this build? You literally have Stylish Executioner on pure Void Hunter. And while that's sort of true, it's also sort of not true. And the reason for that is because the Stylish Executioner on the prismatic subclass is significantly better than Stylish Executioner on the Void subclass. And the reason for that is because Stylish Executioner on the Void class only procs when you defeat a target affected by a Void debuff, whereas Stylish Executioner on the Prismatic subclass, as you can see here, is procced when defeating a target affected by any elemental debuff, which not only gives you a lot more variety in your ability selections, but it also gives you significantly better synergy and significantly more ways to proc it when you're mooching off of the debuffs that your teammates are applying to enemies. So for example, if you're on Void and you're playing with two other friends, you're only getting procs of Stylish Executioners off of their debuffs if they are also playing Void and applying Void debuffs. However, if you're on Prismatic and you're playing Stylish Executioner and you're playing with two other friends, it doesn't matter what build they're using. It doesn't matter what subclass they're using. It doesn't matter what elements they're using. If they apply any debuff to any enemy, which pretty much at this point in the game, literally every player and any build is applying some sort of debuff, you get to take advantage of it for Stylish Executioner to get into your Gerfalcon's loop, which is the core part of this build, giving volatile rounds to the Choir of One and juicing up its damage. On our other aspect slot, we're going Ascension, which in my opinion is probably one of the greatest aspects in the game due to the recent amplification buffs and due to the fact that Bungie has tweaked it so that it now actually procs your class ability. So when we use our Ascension, drains our class ability energy, but if we're near enemies, it will proc the effects of our Gambler's Dodge, and it will in fact refund our melee. Plus, it gives us Amplified, which just recently got buffed, so we get the damage resistance of Amplified, and more importantly, it makes it so that enemy bullets are less likely to hit us. Like, enemies have like worse aim when they're aiming at us. This also jolts targets, which is a debuff, which gives us a way to proc Stylish Executioner. So it feeds into the build so well. I've been really liking Ascension. I also think that you could take a crack at Threaded Spectre as well if you really wanted to, but me personally, I'm gonna go with Ascension. I just think it's a little bit more potent than Threaded Spectre. The enemy inaccuracy that Amplified causes turns them into Stormtroopers, which is a very funny reference because I'm currently dressed up as General Grievous. I'm a pretty big fan of it personally. As far as our fragments go, I threw this together rather quickly, so it is entirely possible that we end up changing some of these fragments as we test out the build and get into the episode, but I'm just using what I consider to be 5 of the 6 prismatic staples. Pretty much every prismatic build, at least on Hunter, is going to involve some combination of Faceted Protection for bonus damage resistance, Faceted Dawn for bonus weapon damage, Faceted Hope for bonus class ability regeneration, Faceted Blessing so that we start melee regeneration when whenever we get a powered melee final blow, applicable both to our threaded spike and our grapple melees. And then the faceted purpose, so when we pick up orbs of power, we get void overshield. I also think if you wanted to, you could find a way to swap one of these out for facet of solitude if you would like to find a way to work that in there. But looking at the other options here, I'm just not 100% sure what we would slot in instead of these 5. These 5 are just so powerful and always make sense in all prismatic hunter builds. So this is what we're going to start out with and see how we feel about it. Then coming over to the mods, we're sticking with the special ammo finder and the harmonic siphon, but I felt like the double special ammo finder was a bit much. So I'm going to try out a special ammo finder and a heavy ammo finder. You could alternatively, if you don't care that much about the heavy ammo finder, you could go hands-on if you would like. Bonus super energy on melee kills, works for both your threaded spike and your grapple grenade. That could be nice if you want more supers. I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to go with the double ammo perks. On the gloves, we're going with impact induction, causing damage with a powered melee, which is our melee and our grenade. Reduce our grenade cooldown. Same thing for focusing strike, but it reduces our class ability. And then going heavy-handed, powered melee final blows create orbs of power. On the chest piece, simply going resistances. Concussive dampener is my favorite, plus 2 elemental resistances, matching whatever damage types enemies do. You could also go a harmonic reserves if you would like as well for 1 cost to get more choir of 1 ammo. That's up to you. Down on the legs, going double void weapon surge, 17% damage bonus in conjunction with a harmonic scavenger, so we can get more void ammo for the choir of 1. And then on the class item, Reaper, time dilation so that those void weapon surges last a little bit longer, and then bomber for a little bit of grapple grenade energy refund. Actually, ignore me. Now that I'm looking at this, this actually wouldn't work because we're using Ascension, and Ascension doesn't proc class ability activation based mods. Actually, Reaper would not work here either. So I guess we'll try double time dilation. See how it feels. So I've got TJ and Jazz Minotaur in here, 2 folks from my live stream, twitch.tv/Mactics, where we record all these live. You should absolutely stop by sometime. We're going to go ahead and hop into the Spire of the Watcher dungeon on ultimatum difficulty, put this build to the test, and answer that question. I want to test something real quick. Just because I am curious, if I put on a harmonic reserves, I want to see how much ammo that gets me to in my choir of 1. Like, how much work is this really doing? So I get up to 241 total. And then if I take it off, what does it drop me to? 200. Okay, so it's an extra 41 bullets. Is that worth? I don't know. Maybe not. It's for you to decide. Let's get to it. Ooh, a little onslaught going on. I mean, for what is technically an auto rifle, the range on it feels really good. Yikes. A little scary. There we go. I think I accidentally just completed that circuit with the explosion of my volatile rounds. All right, so we're gonna go invis there with Stylish because we got the threaded spike going. And then we'll get the revive, and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go over here where it's safe. Oh boy. Pop, pop, pop. Give him a little hip fire burst. And then should be all done right there. Perfect. Hit that. I love this too, because like we have a way to get radiant now. And you can honestly too, you don't have to go threaded spike with this build if you don't want to. You could totally go smoke bomb as well. And then you have a way to get radiant and a way to weaken. And of course, you got your prismatic pops. Throw your grenade on the ceiling. Highly advanced strategy. I need an actual heavy weapon. So let's pull out L rocket launcher. I got 30 seconds. 30 seconds in a dream. We're gonna hit one of these. Hit that. Proc blessing. Go invis. Pick up the heavy brick. Throw that for radiant. Shoot 1 rocket. Gonna transcend. Grenade. Reload this sucker. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Please count. Please count. Oh. It builds. All right, you guys smoke the ads. I got the mechanics down. Pop, 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 pop. Look at the onslaught go. So see right there how I went invis? That's because my teammate threw their threaded spike. Oh! Oh, look at it go! I'm liking Onslaught on this. I'm not really feeling the loss of destabilizing rounds. You get 2 kills, you got the Onslaught X2. That boy is singing. I might go back to the double special ammo finder. I'm kind of rethinking a little bit. I think I would like at least 1 harmonic reserves. Now that I think about it, 41 ammo is a decent amount of ammo. How are your auto shots going through shields? Anytime you have anti-barrier on a weapon, something that you get whenever you have volatile rounds, it can shoot through Hydra shields. So if you look at the bottom left, whenever I get volatile rounds, you'll see the anti-barrier icon appear next to my gun, which means it can go through shields. Cool. Although I will say the Choir of One in terms of shooting through shields feels a little funky. I think because like just the way its projectiles work, it's kind of weird and wonky. Ray, we did it. Well, almost. Just need to not die now. I actually would appreciate some ads spawning because then I can start proccing my Onslaught. Get my envious arsenal going. Let the rocket go. Woo! Easy peasy, baby. So far, I really like this on Prismatic, because the combo is basically like use literally any ability on any guy to weaken him, and then boom, you're good. Then you start singing. Although my favorite part of Choir of One on this boss. Oh, do you mind? Run! What happens if I hip fire? Do I get like multiple? No. It basically doesn't work at all. Oh, threw my threaded spike directly into the axe. Bang! So far, so good. I did switch over to Onslaught, and I am liking it better. I'm not really noticing the disappearance of destabilizing rounds that much. One, because like I have so many ways to debuff enemies and therefore go invis through Prismatic Stylish Executioner and therefore get volatile rounds through Falcons, but also I think some of the artifact perks really help with that a lot as well. I can't remember, is it Volatile Marksman, I think, just gives you, is the name of the one that just gives you volatile rounds when you land rapid precision hits or get rapid void final blows. So after this episode, it is possible that destabilizing rounds maybe does feel like a better pick. But right now with the artifact mods, it's just not necessary at all. Something I really like about Choir of One as well is that if I kill an explosive enemy, like a Supplicant or a Hydra, it just doesn't explode. It just like evaporates. Which is really nice because if they run up on you and you like point blank them, they don't blow up. Choir of One, more like Choir of Fun. I mean, I don't disagree. Max heavy, got our attrition. Dude, if I could get my prismatic. Oh, I got it. Ooh. Ballsy right there. I am not hitting anything on my Goldie. A dream. T-crash in a dream. That's all good. That's all good. I like it. Shouldn't you be switching to Nighthawk for extra damage? This difficulty has a fun little modifier called Not Swap. If you swap your exotic armor piece, you just, all of your super energy goes bye-bye. It's very fun and engaging and cool and interesting. So normally, yes, but in this activity, no. Let's go! It'll build, baby. Will it build? Absolutely, yes. That was an absolutely spectacular build. I'm not necessarily saying that the previous version of it was bad. I think there are use cases for it. I think you go like Echo Persistence, lean into the more Invis and Devour-centric version of this. But if you want to go like more combat, more versatility, more ad clear, more team-wide buffing, and a little bit more synergy with other teammates and other LFGs who potentially aren't bringing Void stuff but have other debuffs that you can take advantage of to go Invis, then I would say this is the one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a build that you think is spectacular that you want the whole world to see, be sure to submit it in the Will It Build channel and our Discord server linked in the description down below. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.